So we had a good talk about what is management, what is the scope of the management, what is the importance, what is the like function of the management, and we related it with a few examples. Now we would pick up some departments, and then we will try to isolate the management function from the department. Okay, so it would be isolating with respect to the function, and also would help you to detail yourself with reference to the importance. Like, yes, if management is there, that's why the function has been, the department has done well. It has done well as a team. It has done well as an organization. It has done well as an output. So we'll pick up the marketing management, which is like known to everybody as a very good function. Like, what does marketing do for us? It gives us a lot of profits. It gives us a lot of work. It develops the potential aspect. It develops the confidences, and everybody just loves marketing. And what is more added to it is like selling. Selling is better known as marketing. Like, it is not so preliminary as just the selling effort, but it is more as a marketing. So what is the scope of the marketing? Marketing is identifying selling in a better way. How we identify it as 4Ps, how we identify as a brand, how we identify as a vision. So that is as a management. So this is what, like, we are managing the marketing very well, very well. And this function, like, it um, triplicates, it multiplies. Triplicates, okay, not just 3 times, but it multiplies. It could be a number of times. The function is that everything is being done effortlessly, and we are like uh, having more and more of profits. Okay, and then this is like what we say, like in marketing management, what is the plus point? It is the team as a whole which is functioning. Okay, so we have got a general manager marketing, we have got the just the marketing manager, then we have got area sales manager, we have got regional sales manager. So they are defined for different works, they are different abilities. They are product managers, they're kind of business development managers. So what is like identifying here? What is the management? What is the scope of management? Here we are restricting them to their region. We are restricting them to their areas. So they are not like overlapping others' areas, and they are getting good results of their area because there is a good ownership of the area. They are able to relate to the area very well. They are able to promote the products very well. They are able to conceptually identify the product with the region. Like, yes, it will sell well. This is the kind of product. This is different very well. And yes, they acknowledge this fact that this area is very competitive and I am very well defined to this particular area. So that's a management aspect. This uh, department as a function will not be able to do if management as a scope or as a function is not there. So this has to be done. Okay. So here now let's see the promotional activities. I do very well in a given region. I do very well in a particular area. Sales promotion, it is very specific because I identified with the area. So that's why what is the control factor when the employees are picked up? They always ask whether you are familiar with the area, what's your relevance to context, how well you know the product. So all these relevances are detailed. Who does it for you? It's the human resources. If suppose the company does not have a human resource department, they are not able to generate the good resources, so they are not able to generate good HR. I am left in the lurch. Who's I here? The owner, the entrepreneur, or the marketing department itself who's looking up for the function, or for the finance department, if they are not able to isolate, like, what's the finance function all about? A marketing person wholesale could not reflect very well on the finance aspect. They cannot reflect very well on the operations aspect. You cannot be like all the time in a multiplier effect, like doing so many things at one go. So it is all restricted horizons. It's like, okay, fine, that there is no end to your exploiting various ventures, but it is that, yes, you're restricted to a function and you can do very well if you are restricted to that function. So that is giving you the multiplier effect. You're gaining on the output. So there, then what happens is, like, the organization as a team reverts back to you with marketing as a function. So one onus is for the marketing individual, one onus is for the finance person, one onus is for the operations, one is for the HR, and then the external entities. So they all together come as a good force, okay? And they integrate themselves to a very good marketing function. They tune in very well as a finance function. They do very well as a sales function, operations function. So this is how, okay? And do not forget that where does the whole thing start? So it's the manufacturing unit. So from where the raw material is picked up, made into a good product, and then sold it to the customer. So this is how. So here now let's see. Okay, till 5, all the 4 Ps are justified. We have always been studying, and as an MBA student, you are able to reflect also very well what are the 4P guidelines. So it is the product, it is the place, it is the price, it is the promotion. But then there is an aspect of customer relationship management. Nowhere it is reflected in the 4Ps that a CRM should be added. So that's an aspect of the management. Management Guru has identified that CRM should be done. So why it is good for us? Because when we are offering a customized solution, on one we are saying that we need to do something better or something extra. So it reverts back to that relationship management should be there. You see, retail has functioned very well, or you say bankers have functioned very well. Why? Because they are offering us ATM function. They are giving us CRM function at the retail. Like there is a point of sale, there is a point of purchase. So they're all the time they are continuously in touch with us. They are maintaining CRM with good gifts. They are maintaining CRM with discount offers. They regularize with like with this product. You could be inventive with another product, or whether 2 products can do better together, they could sell together. So that is how they are developing their ownership. They do not get restricted just to the product sale or to the product counter, but it is later to that also. They understand their customer better, like what is extra you would be wanting for. So this is what CRM is applying. So kind of here you could just like reflect on what is the marketing management. It's not just the marketing, but the management. So if sales report generation is there, it's management aspect. If you are actually detailing your sales force, it's again a management aspect. So this is how. And when you're building upon your customer, it's a management aspect. So falling in place all together. So all the time, if it is aspect, explain the scope of the management, and typically with respect to the marketing department. So this, you need to identify, like what are the various aspects of a functional aspects of a marketing department. So this will tell you the scope. You will be able to define, like giving the definition of the management, you could just relate to the scope, the function, and then the importance. And you could just give a relate example also, like just pick up of one of the entrepreneurial functions and just pick up like how they relate very well. So this is how. If you are kind of related to the digital technology, you could just check up with the SEO and the marketing aspect of the search engine optimization, how they follow it neatly. So the web content development, how they develop the various pages, how they tune into the various aspects of the entrepreneur. This is how. So this could be developed. And how they are implementing it also. So it's a marketing aspect. So now let's go further ahead. It's the financial management. So leaving marketing management ahead, besides, financial management, what is it doing? So it is like talking to us about the long-term benefits. It is talking about the short-term needs of the business. Ownership firm, so they have got high funds. Like what will they do? They have to capitalize on those funds. Okay, they cannot just leave it idle. Okay, it's bad management to them. If I know what is to be done with the funds, okay, it is fine. Working capital is there, but that's okay for the day-to-day function. Okay, that management also has to be done. A nearby kirana store will also do a working capital management. Why? Because they cannot keep it idle, or they cannot just let it go waste, like loss. I do not know what this 2 rupees has been done with. So that's like rosemary, it is called, every day in, every day out. So it's like uh, uh, profit and loss P&L account has to be made for every account, every day function. So here this metabolism has to be, it's called capitalization of funds, needs to be done for the long-term benefit. It needs to be done for the short-term benefits. So business relates very well if they keep on tuning themselves as to what is the finances available, how they can be applied, and later on how they can be capitalized for the long-term benefit. So every owner, right from the beginning of the function, like he's establishing his concern, has to be very capable in this. So nonetheless, who will do the best job? It's the finance manager. So he's called a manager. Now, again, the management aspect is coming. This is like talking like a layman just to get you a bit more tuned into what is the management aspect. Okay, so typically he will know what are the sources of funds, what are the incomes of fund. Okay, and then we'll tune into the like directing it or diverting it to various points where they can generate more funds. So sources of funds could be the interests, they could be the profits. Okay, so this is how. Or they could be also the funds generated from the financial institutions. This is how. So you need to know all the time capitalizing. The currency, foreign exchange is another mode where you can get more funds. So there's need to be invested, reinvested, kind of again redistributed. Okay, so funds is nothing but sources of your incomes. So the first and foremost, your source of income is the product by itself, which you are selling actually in the market. So daily selling, how much funds is being generated. Okay, then what else, like what are the extra funds you have generated through the profits, then through the interests which keeps getting accrued, which keeps getting accrued on the assets, like they are your cash also, then they are on your like all your tangibles. Okay, then how much you have saved over the period of time, so owner's account. So these are all sources of funds, and you need to know like how to get them diverted. They have got, then if exports are there, so on that what is the interest accrued. So this is how. So kind of these need to be again and again metabolized, and you need to know that this requirement of funds is being metabolized in the proper time, in the proper frame of time. Otherwise you might lose the benefit. Let's be more appropriate, you will lose the benefit. Kind of you need to know where to invest, when to invest, what is the right time, and where to invest. So kind of few things which need to be known. So it's your share market, it's your commodities market, it's your futures market. You need to know very proper. You need to know the competitors market, like when you are investing in the financial institutions, when you're collaborating. So there you need to know like what is the right time, because you know how share values do wonders. If you are knowing the market pretty well, you need to know the safety lines, the guidelines. Like people do lose on the interest rates if they are not knowing what is actually the going rate. And it happens for the commodities, it happens for the wholesales, it happens for the futures exchange, and you could lose on a large scale if you do not know how the funds need to be utilized. So you need see that how these financial managers, they keep track of all the liquid assets, they keep track of all the tangibles, all the intangibles. And this is how the financial management makes a lucrative market. Like whenever it is required, the funds are available, and you not go to the bankers for higher interest rates. So you're able to manipulate on a lower end and get better funds. So this is how. So it is all called as maintaining a proper margin, proper like the liquidity of funds. This is how. Okay, so your credit worthiness, the safety of the credit is always achieved. Like if you're high on credit, what does it show? The company is not doing well. So you have to always be well managed in the credit society for the profitability of the business. And this, like in other words, it is like wealth managers. They manage your portfolios. It's not just the individual side that you should save kind of in a situation where you require more funds. Okay, so here what the wealth managers would do, what the financial managers would do, they will act as your portfolio managers. They will guide you ahead where to invest better. So various assets they need to tune in. What's coming in the market, they need to tune in. Okay, so this is how they invest in gold, they invest in futures, they invest in financial institutions, and they also again check it out every day in the share and stock where they could uh, invest better so as to make better money. This is how. So let's go to one more functional department. It's the human resources. See, human resources, it has improved in numbers. Look at the employment scenario, like in a call center or when graduates, they get employed in a firm, it's a number. Everything they talk in is number. It's not just the production of the physical unit that is our product, but human also resources are also getting employed in the organization in numbers, in hundreds. Okay, so there has to be a manpower planning. Okay, there has to be a management. So it is governing the human resources. It is called the corporate governance. There is a corporate ethic which is called. So why it is required? See, even though we have formed guidelines, we have set disciplines, like this is how the company functions, this is what our governance, this is what is our policy. People do come from different regions. They come together with various faiths, different norms, different cultures. So all the time it needs to be regularized. There has to be some think tank which needs to be maintained. It's not just the time, like every day in the company you should be in by 9 and out by 5, but it is like, what is the movement? There is some discipline, there is some restriction. So there are so many things. It's not just the working abilities, but how you talk it out to people, how you keep your mom at the desk and not like talk it over across the desk when the lunch time is there and you're not to be seen once the lunch break is over. So this is how. So these are all aspects of human resource management. So the first and foremost is the planning. Where does the manager come in? Human resource manager, they talk it over with every department. So the department tells, so this is what is my marketing manager requirement. This is what is my sales force requirement. So they generate that this should be the portfolio, this should be the profile. And on basis of that, the job description is set. And then they go ahead searching in the market, like human resource market, and like fetch those details. Okay, so this is what planning is done. Like there is a planning for the numbers. They would check it with the finance department whether you approve of the budget. Like they would be able to give this salary. Kind of, they have to see the aspect that, okay, under one marketing manager we could have a team of 5 sales managers. Okay, so this they think over. Talk it over in terms of money. They talk it over in terms of what work they would be carrying out. They then optimize it onto the CV, the resume, like what should be their experience, what should be their portfolio. So this is how. And then they go ahead further with recruitment and selection. Now see, like these are all the steps for the human resource management. This is how they are actually managing themselves out. This could be seen when you're into placements. So you could just work it out, like, oh, this is what the think tank is. The training and development is done for the person who's come just new. So it needs to be told about the company function, the department function, and like what are the CSR, what is the governance. So this is how. So that's training and development. Usually it's for 6 months. Sometimes it's as short as just 1 month or 3 months. And then they are employed. So it is called induction period, 6 months induction period. Performance appraisal, they have generated one more um, discipline in the human resource management. They need to be awarded. They need to be identified that they have done something well. Otherwise, what would be there? There would be sluggishness. There would be lethargy in the human resource function. And these abilities need to be picking up. So performance appraisal keeps on telling them that please come up best with your upgrades or how you have done very well. It needs to be told by you. Sometimes it is you who identify, sometimes they come and identify. This is how. And these are the parameters on which the employees are further upgrade. Why do we have, like, from a small execution function, from a small coordination function to higher level management? We do have like the top level, we do have middle order. So everybody loves to actualize like further to the top level, and why not become further the owner of the company? So these are all aspects of the finish, of the go, of the growth, which has been told by the human resource management. So they tell you that this is what the performance appraisal would be offered, or this is how you graduate. So the best you associate with the companies where you are able to isolate yourself to the top of the position. So this is how you're appraising yourself. It's your way of setting your goals, your objectives. So that's the fun. Now, promotions and transfers, they are also an aspect. A company sits at one end, they have got their branches. So as I said, it's an regional office, it's an area sales office. It could be in one given region, but sometimes it's a global company. So it's everywhere. So how do we promote a person? They go on to a different area, so but working for the same company. How do they function as a on a transfer or as an replacement? So this is how. So, or for some short-term duties. So these are all on aspects of promotions and transfers. So there you need to check their funds, and the requirement, the need is raised by the company in one of the offices, like if you could support us. Currently we are not able to take a full-time employee. So if for a small period, like for 6 months or to just 7 months, so there, so they have compensations, like God forbid, some or the other things, odd things, like I said, there are tragedies or something like calamities, they happen. So compensation needs to be given to the individual, to the family. So to an extent, have we thought that, or whether we are able to give that sort of an management to the employee? In companies, they do have like cribs, crashes for the working women. Okay, working women, they get pregnancy holidays. Okay, or otherwise insurances are being paid to the employees for some illnesses. Okay, so this is how. So employee welfare services are also there, like they are being given fun clubs. Okay, so these are all welfare services. Okay, and what are the industrial relations? Companies do not benefit just by the management, it is by the personal relations, and goodness is with the industrial relations also. So kind of how the management is ploying with the workers, how they are doing well, like their whether promises are being well kept. There lot many things like go haywire with the industrial relations. Kind of management doesn't keep the promises, or management is not able to support the requirement of the labor. So the nitty-gritties need to be managed. And who does the support services? Who does the helping hand or coordinating it out further? Realizing like what is the industrial relation, what is required by the company itself. So that needs to be well done. It needs to be managed very well. It will not just that human resource department is there, it's called HRD. But yes, what's the regular function? It is the human resource management. Okay. Now, human resource records and research. Financial departments, they keep their records for somewhere around 5 years. So even human resources, they need to trace their records for some time. kind of tuning is for 5 years, and it needs to be pretty well maintained. There is a proper search for each and every employee who is getting recruited in the company, and there has to be some tracing of the data, like what is the future employees past data, past record. So they do always ask like whether you have generated some references, or has somebody given a like reference saying that this person is good, I know this person. So these are all required. Okay, endorsements are required. So these are all tracing the resource, says these are tracing the records, researching it very well. It's a very big function. HR strategist does it. Okay, so it's an aspect like there nowhere we have got leniency. The lethargy is being lost, and we are trying to constrict ourselves like better and better control. So when we are saying that we are planning, organizing, okay, further we are further we are implementing, then control is there. Okay, so there at the time when we are controlling it, this is what like human resource management, this is how they are controlling it. Okay, so we are nowhere like scheming or just independently strategizing it, but we are trying to get everything in control. So all the paperwork, familiarity has to be there, and more of it is like it is the culture is being known, it is being instilled in the department as a whole organization. Okay, so what they are trying to tell here is that the culture of the organization is known and which propagates outside. Okay, so fine, we got ourselves a bit familiar with the management as a scope, as a function in 3 different departments. Okay, so like people do think, how do we isolate the management? What is the governance? Like how do we differentiate between management and the administration? So like administration would be too tough. Like it's some instructions have been given and they have to be followed and they have to be implemented. Like say this task needs to be done today, means today. That is how. But in management, there would be some human aspect. Like they will take the trouble to just think it over, to reflect it over, and then take the task to code. This is how. So it depends upon, like administration is an aspect of the management. Okay, but management doesn't hold true for administration. Administration is independent by itself, but management will, of course, take up administration under it and then go ahead working. So administration would look good if management is around. This is how I would tune it to. Okay, so a nature of function. What's the nature of function? So you say in marketing department, if management is there, would be good administration? Yes, why not? See, you will say management holds true with administration. That means that the work has been defined properly. We have identified our goals and objectives. Again, the similar thing. Okay, managerial aspect. But then if they have generated their reports properly, if they have been able to give us the cost effectiveness, if they have been telling us like what is to happen tomorrow. So administration kind of is like all the tasks are happening in time. And what is the via media? It's via media is reporting it back. So management is not just left thinking in terms of just your brain or thinking in mind, but it's in terms of report, in terms of books. This is how. So type of work which is being done, but this type of work is not just in terms of words or somebody has given a good word for me, but it is in terms of, look, this is the work. ये इसने अच्छा काम किया है, कैसे तो वो बात कर रहा है, ये output मिला है, तो उस तरह से. Scope of function, it's been defined. It's not overlapping or it's not missing something. In an ISO book, when they actually detail the work, every work has to be detailed. So like in the marketing department for execution, like sales officer kind of, what function do they carry out? So what are their key result areas? So that needs to be defined. So point by point. So this is how the scope of function is being detailed. Levels of authority, a sales executive officer, sales officer, till where will it go and tell the deed, like I have done my task. So direct reporting, it's just till the marketing manager. Marketing manager, it goes to the general manager. General manager would go directly to the director or the president of the company. This is how. Sometimes, like, how's the holding level of authority from direct, like head HO to the sales execution officer, or it is directly to the middle level authority, and then they discontinue from there, but they do not talk directly with their uh, uh, line people, that is the lowest order. But these are the flows of the authority. They are open management systems, they are closed management systems, kind of. They do not tune to everybody. You do not know also like who's Tata or who's Birla, but they have flourished like anything. They became good managers and kind of have done their money. But the levels are that the owners, they keep well with the directors, with the GMs. This is how, okay. But the level of authority, this is how it flows. It shows like how your management is not versus administration, but it is management come administration. It's authoritative. And the flow is not just one-way flow, but it is a two-way flow. And it's usually better that if you have got a two-way flow, when there is a communication, it helps that everybody is able to acknowledge each other. It happens in many of the companies where we have got leaner structure, like, so the authority flows better, the communication is better, you have got higher confidences to finish the work, like, isn't I could do this thing, मैं ये सब कर सकती हूँ, मैं ये सब कर सकते हैं. So these are all levels of authority. It is all on the management systems. It's not just being administrative, but it's managing the people properly. Then there is influences. Like, what is the influence today? The leader, how does it influence the team members? Okay, so leader, it's not just telling, it's not just the scope of how much speaking, how much regard I give you to, okay, every day saying hi, bye, or coming to you as and these are the particular things, these are the advices, this is what you have to do. It's not that, but it is like, what do you impart by just a leader person? The intelligence or the confidences which you tell, and people are able to do better and better. Okay, they become wiser. So it's your scope again, span is like for 5 people, for 10 people, a matter of fact, more than that. So that's the influence, the scope. Okay. Then we have got direction of human efforts, where they are directed. Sometimes, like, so your ma'am is speaking it out again and again. Okay, twice or thrice I have told you again, and you come back with the same similar questions. So this is like, it's bad effort. So human effort is at its level best. Like, at one go, you have been able to understand like what needs to be done. It's not just like eating up the words, gobbling up the words, and like nothing has happened. It's like straight direct talk, which the group people, they understand, and it falls in place. Like, these are the particulars, this is what needs to be done. So we are the best of the managers if operations are being done in like the given time. We are the best of the managers if we are making profits. So this is how a business developer works. This is how a marketing manager works. Even an execution officer, they are also doing a work, they also do team up, and they are also good managers. It's not just the individual. Yes, when we say, no, what's the influence they are doing, or to the what level of authority they are able to correspond, so it's all direction of human efforts, and it's not just for conclusive for one department, but it is for many departments. I'm able to talk it out, trace it to the human resources department very well. I'm able to trace it out to the finance department very well. And what is about the marketing department? So these are all your human efforts. People sometimes, even though you're a finance graduate, pick up very well as a job in the marketing department, or do very well effortlessly in the HR department. So what's the aspect? It's that all direction of human efforts. Finally, your work falls in place only if you are good managers. It is nothing else, but you are able to market and sell yourself in a better way. Okay, so talk it over in a different way, which is attracting my attention. So this is what management is. So main functions, everywhere the task is done if you're able to identify the main functions. If you're talking something leaving the task, आज आपको ये काम करना है, आप वो छोड़ के दो काम दूसरे करोगे, so that's not my work. Okay, it's just for the company, for the department, this is what needs to be done. So this is the main function. Okay, and the skills required, please step up again and again, they keep telling you, so it comes to your records. So please trace yourself back again and again. The skills need to be upgraded. It's the change dynamism. So your processes, they are not constant, but they are dynamic. So kindly please pick up on your skills. And the usage is, it's your utility, what you are committing yourself to the department, what your company is expecting from you, and whether you are coming up to the mark. This is how. So here, see how it is. Administration, it is a policy formulation, and management is doing the policy execution. So this is how they are in tune with each other. We'll say administration is all the time more strict and management is a bit lenient. This is how it is, okay, in a simpler words. So yeah, here, see, administration is a part of management, and administration and management, they come out as same. So when we say MBA, what is it? Masters of Administration. So business and administration. So this is how.